Hello everyone, this is Kevin Davey. Welcome to Easy Language for the Strategy Factory, Lesson 11, Incorporating RSI in a Strategy. So the agenda today, we're going to incorporate the RSI into our strategy, and then we're just going to talk about how you would put in other canned functions. So what I mean by canned are functions that are available within TradeStation when you first get it. You don't have to recreate the code or create the code for an RSI or an ADX or stochastics or Bollinger Band or any of those things. You can just go and get them from Easy Language and just put them in, type them in. So I'll show you a couple examples of that. Okay, so let's go back to our original strategy here. And what we had said is we were going to buy if the close is greater than the close 20 bars ago. So first I'm just going to clean it up a little bit just to make it a little easier. So I'm taking out that if block. I also want to make a sell short type statement, because a lot of times you'll have a long statement and then you'll have the exact opposite for a short entry. So right there, what I've done is I've said if the momentum is greater than the 20 bar momentum is up, then buy, and if it's down, then sell short. So now I want to add an RSI. So the way you can do it with these if statements, you just add the word and RSI, and you see it turns purple. That means it knows it's a function. And if you then type in the left parentheses, you'll get a little helpful tip that will say RSI wants a price and a length. Okay, and it returns the relative strength index. So price, usually you're going to use the close price. And for length, I'm just going to start out with a standard one of 14 bars. That's just a standard length. So that right there will calculate the 14 bar RSI. And you can use overbought and oversold ranges, all sorts of things. I always found that 50 is a good number to use. So I'm going to say if the RSI is below 50, then buy. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to kind of make it an anti-trend or counter-trend type system. So I'm going to switch this to greater than, and then I'll copy this, highlight this, and copy it. And now I only want to enter short if the RSI is greater than 50. So just to summarize what I did here, I say if the close is lower than the close 20 bars ago and the 14 bar RSI is less than 50, then buy. And I did the exact opposite to sell short. So I used an and statement here. One thing you could do with these if statements, you could make this an or. You could say or. So if this close is true or this is true, then buy. So they don't both have to be. One could be true, and then it will buy. If you use and, both of the conditions have to be true for you to buy. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're a little unsure of the if statement logic, I suggest you read the Easy Language Manual on if-then programming. And if you still have questions, just send an email. We'll be glad to help you out here. So that's kind of what this looks like with an RSI. We hit verify, and then again it says saved and verified. If there was an issue, let's just say I typed RSSI by mistake, right? It would say strategy. It would say not verified. There's a little thing that comes up, and it would actually give you some description of what happened And here it says unknown identifier. It actually highlights it. So it helps you out. It tells you, hey, I don't know what this is. And then you'd say, oh, I did a typo. And then you would fix it and do it. And then again, you can always check this at any time just to make sure it works. And it makes sure it gives you the trades you think. A lot of times what you think you program might not be what TradeStation thinks, so you might actually want to check some of these by hand, although that gets kind of tough. So in any event, that's what this kind of looks like. Now let's just say you didn't want to use RSI. You wanted to use a Bollinger Band or something, okay? So let's just try it. So you start to type in Bollinger Band, and that's the word, and then it says it wants price, length, the number of standard deviations. So typically you'd use 2 standard deviations. So that calculates the Bollinger Band number, and now you want to say if that's greater than the close, for example, or there's all sorts of variations you could put on that. I don't necessarily want to go through all of them, but you can see how you can use the context sensitive help to help you out here. If you ever need to go back with what you were editing, you can use this back arrow, and so see, it'll redo what I just did, but then it will take all that away, whoops, and it will get me back to the RSI, which is what I had, and then this is the last saved version. Now if you want to see a list of functions that are available, you can always go to the open folder, and look under functions. Now you'll see different ones than these only because I have 15 years worth of functions in here, but you can see things. The ones in the red are usually the ones that come with TradeStation. You see Bollinger Band, you see a bullish divergence, you see some candlestick ones. I'm not sure if those come with TradeStation or not, but those are read only. We've got the close of the day, of the month. Those are special ones. You got R coefficients. You've got a lot of other ones in here too. You just have to go through and look at them. You've got directional movement indicator, the DMI. There's the ADX. There's stochastics. There's all sorts of functions in here, and pretty much any function that you want, chances are somebody's programmed it, and it might already be in TradeStation, or you might be able to get it. So if you're interested in something, if you say, hey, I want the Hurst exponent, which is something using fractal calculations, and you don't find it, send an email, and I can probably help you find it. Okay, so this video, consider yourself successful if you were able to put in that RSI and compile and verify it. And you also learn the basics of adding other canned strategies or functions to your strategy. And that will make you a little bit better at building strategies. Okay? So again, if you have questions, feel free to send them, to comment on the YouTube video, whatever you wish. And we'll be talking soon in the next video.